Hey, deserving listeners, it's time to continue watching Kalani and Asuelu on 90 Day Fiancé. Let's watch the show.
It's okay. And Kalani, that's my son. Take care of him. I miss him. Now we are ready to go to the airport, but please, I need some money.
So I always like it when I have a similar face expression as the people on the show, and I got a triple congruence here with both Kalani and Asuelu. All three of us had the same face to the mom's statement here. It just seems so inappropriate given the amount of fighting that they've done around money and how clearly they've established that they don't have money to spare. And in the middle of the mom saying with tears, "Take care of my son, I love him so much, please forgive Tammy. She loves her brother, but, I tried to convince her, but she stayed angry," and just drops this bomb of, "I need money."
Why are you looking at each other? Oh, no, my kids. Just kidding.
Oh, that might be the best joke I've ever seen on this show. She got me. That was good. It was funny. She didn't really mean it. She has a sense of humor about it. This is fantastic. What a great thing. Okay. All right. Whew.
Clean your mess. Do trash properly. Do laundry and dishes. And rest. So you're going to do your own things, and I'm going to do me and the babies.
I can't feed the babies.
Okay, so I'm not exactly sure the landscape. He works part-time. She doesn't work at all. She's doing all of the work at home. It seems from the outside, from the little bit they've talked about, that she's working a lot harder than he is, even if we include his job. So how do you break up the tasks at home? He works outside the home part-time. Does that mean he does a little bit less work at home with the kids? Who knows? The key is that I always use with couples when I'm having them talk about this is explore, take care of each other. How do you talk about it? How do you assert yourself? How do you listen to each other? How do you understand the other person? There's a lot of literature on this, actually, in couples therapy, because it is a frequent conflict. And it is often in heterosexual relationships it's a very fertile ground for sexism, for men to feel like, why do I have to do that? My dad didn't do that. Well, the difference was women were under men's thumb in the past, and we now realize that that's not fair. And women often didn't work because they weren't allowed to in a lot of ways, and men did work outside the home. So when you consider someone working outside the house and someone not working outside the house, then yeah, there's going to be a difference in housework, right? But then as women started to enter the workforce, men just held on to that attitude, like, well, of course. And women, a lot of women internalize that message and will shame themselves for not getting all the housework done, even though they're working full time. I don't know what their arrangement will be, given that he is working outside the house somewhat. But the key is how do they listen to each other? How do they say, hey, well, this whole thing that you think doesn't take that much time, like doing the laundry, it actually takes a long time. And I think that you need to understand how long that takes. And this is one of the principles that I wanted to get to about couples therapy when they talk about this, is that there's actually a skit that I want to talk about. I won't be able to do it justice. It's probably on YouTube somewhere, where this guy, I think it might be Australian, I'm not sure, but there's this guy, and he's sitting in the living room, and he says to his wife, "Wife, come here. Do you see this coffee table?" And the wife's like, "Yeah, this is a magical coffee table. This coffee table is magical." And the wife's like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "No, I'm serious. Every time I put garbage on this coffee table and I leave the room for a while and I come back, the garbage is gone. There's like magical fairies or a wizard or something that comes in here, or this table is magic. It just makes the garbage disappear. And the wife is thinking, what are you talking about? I pick up your garbage. That's me. That's what I've been doing. They don't magically go away. I actually have a inside joke with my wife around this where I'll say, wow, there's no dust on the mantle of the fireplace. Must be a magical fireplace, or must be the fairies cleaning it. Wink, wink, nod, nod. My wife must have dusted it. So the point is that we don't always, because we have this bias that if we didn't see it, it didn't happen. So in a lot of chores, or particularly if someone's working outside the house, they're not done in the visual field of the spouse. And so there has to sometimes be a lot of discussion. Like, when I do this, it takes a long time. It's not uncommon for the person in charge of the laundry to basically be doing laundry all week long. It's just a constant revolving door of laundry that they're doing. And if you didn't know that, if you weren't doing it yourself, then you might not know that that's happening. So let's see how they talk about this with each other. The key is to listen to each other, explain things to each other. What I'm worried about are two things. One is that he will exhibit sexism and entitlement and privilege, and she will talk down to him like that of a mother and make him feel like a child, which I don't think goes over well. Let's see what they do.
And I'm the teacher, and I'm watch kids.
So I'm saying, watch the kids on my side. Also watch the kids on your side.
Okay, correct. Wash dishes. I do that. Correct.
Okay, I'm not exactly sure what's happening here. It seems as though Asuelu is adjusting and listening and changing, but there seems to be some sarcasm between the two of them. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm a little worried that this is going in a direction that might cause conflict. Let's continue watching.
I do that sometimes.
My list is saying basically everything that I do, I would like you to do too. That we can split everything in the house. Not
Yeah,
you doing your
but
things and me
think
doing
about it.
my stuff and the kids'
I
stuff.
go outside, mow the lawn. I do outside, like clean all the apples.
Okay, again, there are two general different models for how to split up housework. One is that everyone does everything. Both people clean the bathroom, both people do the dishes, both people do the laundry. That makes it pretty equal. You do the laundry this week, I do the laundry this, or I do my laundry, you do your laundry, that kind of thing. Then another model is you both specialize. I do the bathroom, you do the kitchen. I do the lawn, and you vacuum the living room. And that has its benefits because you can kind of specialize and you don't have to take turns. You just know this is my responsibility. The disadvantage to that is it's hard sometimes to compare apples to oranges. For the lawn, for example, if you're only mowing it once every couple weeks, then how many hours does that mean in terms of the full, when you spread that over time, whereas something that takes every day but less time, it could be harder to figure that out. But they seem to be talking about it, and they seem actually a little intoxicated too. Maybe that's helping. Let's continue watching.
Okay, you could leave all of those apples outside and I would not care. I would
Why?
rather you help in the house because apples being raked does nothing for my life.
So again, her tone, she doesn't have to say it that way. And I think his tone is a little flippant as well. There's a way of talking about this. So, honey, I appreciate that you rake the apples. That's great. But it actually isn't that big of a deal to me. And I don't really count that as a job that we share. It seems like just something you like to do. But I would much rather have you do this and that. It would actually make me really happy if you did these three things instead of raking the apples. Instead of the way Kalani tends to talk to him as this sarcastic way, which I think makes him feel ridiculed. Now, I'm guessing a lot of people in the audience feel as though he deserves to be ridiculed. I don't know. So this seems to be heading in a direction. Now, for her to assert that, that's perfectly reasonable. And that brings up another element in negotiating chores is one person might be doing a lot of things, like, for example, mowing the lawn, and the other partner is like, I don't care what the lawn looks like. That seems to be what you like to do, and I guess I'm glad you do it. But if it were up to me, I wouldn't mow the lawn as often as you do. And so I don't know if that counts exactly as apples to apples. I think that's something that you just like to do, and helping people understand that as well. For example, some people might really want a very, very clean bathroom to the point where they clean it almost every day. Whereas the other partner, if it were up to them, they wouldn't clean the bathroom every day, and that's their preference, and that's fine. So the person who's cleaning the bathroom every day, does that mean that the other person has to clean something else every day? Or the person that's cleaning the bathroom every day, do they have to kind of work in the fact that, well, I'm doing a little extra just on my own time because I just really like a clean bathroom? It gets kind of complicated. But if you talk to each other with respect, with love, if you listen to each other and really care and have empathy, it can work out. So let's see how they do.
I want to clean. I want to make sure everything is clean. So when you clean inside, I want to clean outside.
Okay, so how about when it's time to do the apple raking, then we could do it together. And we'll watch the kids together. Your list is still me doing most of the stuff, so.
Yeah, and that was my impression, was that his list was still her doing most of the stuff. And it kind of sounds like he has a common sexist heuristic. It's like, okay, you do everything in the house, and I do everything outside the house. You take care of the kids, you cook, you clean, you do everything, and then I go to work and I do the yard and I work on the car. And sometimes that will be a fair distribution of labor. Oftentimes it is not, especially when you have 2 young kids in the house.
I would like us to be more equal.
Okay. I'll be patient and try my best to make you happy. I want to be with you my whole life. You the apple, you the pineapple of my life.
Okay, it's good. So it seems to be going well. He seems to be winning her over. He's agreeing with her. That's good. I don't know practically if he understands, but it's a good start. I wouldn't be surprised if this issue needs 6 to 12 months to iron itself out. All right, well, that does it for that episode of Psychology in Seattle. Everyone out there, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.